Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell pleased with turnout at vaccination and testing clinic over the weekend. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Monday, September 27th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Despite the inclement weather on Sunday, more than 300 residents from the communities of Cherry Hill to Mount Morris showed up at Pier 57 to get tested and or vaccinated. Of the 344 people tested, 332 were negative, while 12 tested positive for COVID-19. 118 persons were vaccinated, 99 received their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine, while 8 had their second dose. 5 persons received their first dose of AstraZeneca, while 6 had their second dose. Prime Minister and Parliamentary Representative for the area, Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, during an interview with the GIS, said the turnout of residents clearly suggests that people are now taking the pandemic very seriously.
We constantly been indicating that this virus respects no one at all, and therefore having a number of people here doing the testing and vaccinating is important. And in addition to the fact that you see a lot of different age group, because I think the general perception before was that the virus only it deals with the older persons in the community. That's not so. We see the death of young people who are not known to have any physical problem before. So I think this is important for us.
The objective of pop-up clinics, Dr. Mitchell says, is twofold, as it is equally important for people to be both tested and vaccinated. The opportunity, he says, should not just be used to get tested, but to be vaccinated as well, as it is the only tool available now to effectively fight the virus.
You have to keep coming back and testing all the time, and you never know. And therefore, it's important to take the next step to vaccinate, and I think that's the message we want to send out to everybody. In addition, I want to thank Patrick, our business person, who was made his facility here at Pier 57 available for this session here today. And the layout, as you can see, with the medical team here and all the persons are here, coming and taking this thing seriously is an indication that we are on the right track. We hope and pray that we can see more of this around the country.
The COVID-19 death toll as of September 26th reached 120, and Dr. Mitchell says he is not comfortable with the rate of mortality given the size of our population.
I'm very concerned about the level of deaths for a small population. And it clearly is an indication that people are waiting too long. They are noticing signs. For example, maybe a fever, maybe a cold, sore throat, and other things, backache, and they're treating it as a normal complaint, when in fact that should urge them to move quickly and test. And most likely vaccinate at the same time. I think that's one of the messages I would like to send to them.
In concluding his interview with the GIS, Dr. Mitchell said he was very pleased with the commitment of the medical team and volunteers, as the fight is about saving lives. Medical professional and COVID-19 volunteer Dr. Jane Noel says the Ministry of Health must be commended for its decision to designate the top floor of the newly constructed Gouyave Polyclinic as a COVID-19 testing and vaccination center. Residents of St. Patrick, St. Mark, and St. John are encouraged to utilize the facility, which is closer to home, between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Following his recent visit to the clinic, Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele welcomed the addition of the new site as the ministry ramps up COVID-19 testing and vaccination throughout the island. Dr. Noel says the additional facility will relieve some of the pressure felt at the smaller clinics and give more time for other health services.
We've had the main stadium that has been looking after people, and we've had the health clinics, and obviously at the weekends we've had the mobile units which have been going around. But the idea of this clinic on the west coast is to really help people completely down the northwest coast, right from St. Patrick's downwards, because we realize to come into town, that's a difficult journey. It's extra money on the bus. If it's easy for them to just hop off the main bus route and come in here for us to either test them or vaccinate them. In the health clinics, they're also busy with all the normal clinical practice. So you have all the pregnant mothers and the diabetic feet to attend to and all those things. So we're hoping that this will take some pressure off the clinics so that they can actually do their general work.
The COVID vaccination and testing center started today, Monday. Dr. Noel expressed satisfaction with the turnout so far.
Good so far. I'm glad so many people have come out. I wasn't sure whether we'd be sitting here with no one the first day. We've tested maybe about 30 people so far. Well, no, actually we've tested a lot more. We've vaccinated about 30 people. We've had a lot of people coming in for testing. Also clarifying for people who maybe don't need testing. So I think a lot of it is also advising people. People are scared, they're worried. And we've just done a lot of counseling to people, and I think that's important.
In recent weeks, Grenada has seen a steady increase in the number of COVID-19 infections as the country transitioned to community spread. Health authorities have therefore been undertaking various public health interventions, including increased public education, testing, and vaccination to curb the spread. Community health nurse Colleen Rush appealed to residents to play their role in curbing the further spread of the virus by taking advantage of the opportunity to get tested and vaccinated.
We're asking persons from St. Mark, St. Patrick, St. John to come out in your numbers Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to get your testing done and vaccination done. Once you're tested and vaccinated as well, that reduces the spread from you to other persons, from persons to you as well.
Individuals can also choose one of the two available COVID-19 vaccines. Pfizer is administered to individuals who are 12 years and older, and AstraZeneca is available to those who are 18 years and older. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
This is a message from the Ministry of Health. If you or a family member suspect that you may have contracted COVID-19 and are displaying symptoms, please immediately self-isolate at home. This means that you must also avoid all contact with other members of your household. Do not visit hospitals or health centers, as this creates the potential for further spread of the virus, and it puts additional persons at risk when you come into contact with them. Your best course of action is to call the COVID-19 hotline at 458-4787 or 538-4787, or contact your nearest health center or medical station. Once your information has been received, health officials will come to you. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19. This has been a message from the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. Craig Charles, resident of the constituency of St. George Northwest, brought his two children to be tested and vaccinated at the pop-up clinic at Pier 57 on Sunday. In a GI's interview, he encouraged his colleagues to get tested and vaccinated. Having recently recovered from the dreaded virus, Craig is thankful that he had the opportunity to get vaccinated, as his symptoms were not that severe compared to stories he has heard from others.
As a gentleman who was diagnosed with COVID and I recovered and I was vaccinated, I was not sick. In the first 4 days, I was just headache, and after that I was good for the rest of the time. And I recovered nicely, and I just urging all the young ones, especially the guys in Grand Mall and Fontaine who play soccer, I urge you all to come out and get vaccinated. It's the best way forward. I brought my 2 kids today to be vaccinated, and that's the best decision I think I made as a dad.
Shivana Manmorin also spoke with the GIS on why she believes it's important for people to make the decision to get vaccinated and tested.
I came out here to be tested, to know my status, as well as to get vaccinated, to protect not only me, but family members and friends that I am around. And it was a pleasure to see a lot of young folks out here today getting tested, knowing their status, because there are so many cases here and you never know if you have it or you don't have it, so that's a good thing. And I just advise people to get vaccinated and make the right choice.
Overall, on the weekend, over 800 were tested at various clinics across the country, with over 80 testing positive. Finally, in the news, Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Business and CARICOM Affairs, Honorable Oliver Joseph, says countries globally must unite to control the spread of COVID-19. During his address at the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Minister Joseph called on countries to adopt the One Health agenda at a global level. He expressed optimism that a One Health agenda will expose each country to an integrated policy which will lead to the prevention and efficient response to future outbreaks and diseases.
In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, Grenada calls for advocacy for enabling environment to promote and adopt a One Health agenda at the global level, an approach that recognizes the connection between well-being, prosperity, and a healthy environment. As we seek to prevent, detect, and respond to future pandemics, non-communicable disease, including mental health, must also be examined. Our planetary health and climate change require an integrated policy, and among other things, cooperation, leadership, governance, and political will, as well as the sharing of resources and expertise to find better and more urgent solutions.
The session was held under the theme Building Resilience Through Hope to Recover from COVID-19, Rebuild Sustainably, Respond to the Needs of the Planet, Respect the Rights of People, and Revitalize the United Nations. Minister Joseph also addressed climate change, the impact of COVID-19 on the economy, the Blue Growth Agenda, the National Sustainable Development Plan, among other pertinent issues. That story just ended the national report for Monday, September 27th. Recapping the top story. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell pleased with a turnout at vaccination and testing clinic over the weekend. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.